Hey guys, I'm Steff and welcome back to my beauty stash. I am really excited today because I am finally trying Menagerie Cosmetics. They recently collaborated with one of my favorite YouTubers, and that is Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner, and they created this gorgeous Serenity eyeshadow palette. How gorgeous is that artwork? Just like a beautiful garden, a springtime garden, and look at those butterflies there. Love it, absolutely love it. And let me show you guys the inside of this beautiful eyeshadow palette. If you are familiar with Annette, you know Annette loves her colorful makeup. She loves her mattes, she loves her shimmers, and she loves a good matte black eyeshadow, which she purposely left out of this palette so that she could include all of the colorful shades she wanted to include. And she felt that we have enough matte black eyeshadow where we can just pull from another palette if we feel the look needs it. And personally, I am glad she did that. She's right. We definitely have our fair share of matte black eyeshadows to deepen up our looks with should we feel we need it. But when I saw her debut this palette on her YouTube channel, and of course over on Instagram and on the Menagerie Cosmetics Instagram, I was just so happy for Annette. And I knew this was something I definitely wanted to pick up. I wanted to make this my first purchase from Menagerie. I've heard so many great things about the brand, and I love trying new indie brands whenever I get the opportunity to, and this just felt like the perfect opportunity. This is a 12 pan colorful eyeshadow palette with a nice mixture of mattes and shimmer shades, and it retails for $38.95 on the Menagerie Cosmetics website. However, it is currently out of stock. This was a very limited release, guys. Like, when I say limited, I mean there was like maybe 400 or 500 palettes to go around, and there was a 1 palette per customer limit, just so that some of Annette's biggest fans could get their hands on the palette and try it out and hopefully review it like I am doing today. But I do believe they are planning another restock. Now, this might be the last restock that they do, and if I can find out the dates before I put this video up, I will most definitely have it in the description box of this video in case this is something you want to check out. And let me know, guys, if you're a fan of Annette, if you like watching her videos, definitely leave it in the comment section down below, because I would love to read those comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on this palette and the collaboration that she did with Menagerie. But I am really excited to be creating 2 looks for you guys. I am going to do a voiceover for this 2-look tutorial, and I'm going to be using Rephr brushes. Annette always uses Rephr brushes to create her gorgeous looks with, and you guys know I have my fair share of Rephr brushes, so those are the brushes that I'll be using today. I've already primed my eyelids just the way Annette does, although she uses the Natasha Denona eye primer. I unfortunately don't have that one, so I am using the Juvia's Place Eye Prep Eye Prime in the shade 1. That is the lightest shade, and I'm going to be creating 2 looks with this gorgeous palette. Heads up, it swatched really, really well. So I'm going to be inserting those photos that I did outdoors in natural lighting so that you can see how they swatched on my fair to light skin tone. And then we'll jump into creating the 2 looks. And then I will come on and give you guys my final thoughts, my review over the Serenity palette from Menagerie Cosmetics and Annette's Makeup Corner. If you guys want to see this gorgeous palette in action, keep on watching. The first shade I'm going in with is the Mango, and I'm taking it on a Rephr No. 1 brush. And right now I'm just going to be packing it on the crease just to map out the shape that I want for today's eye look. Now I'm cleaning off the same Rephr brush and I'm lightly going to start blending out the edges, working it upwards and outwards, very light pressure. Now I'm going in with the shade Monarch on a Rephr number 28 brush. I'm going to spray my brush and start working this beautiful shimmer shade on the outer to middle portion of the lid. Now I'm going back in with a Mago and I'm going to add a little bit on the outer corner of the eye. Now I'm using the other side of that damp Rephr 28 brush with the shade Tranquil on the inner to middle portion of the eyelid. Now I'm going back in with the shade Monarch and I'm just merging the two shades together, and I'm going to be doing this a little bit throughout the look, just packing and then slightly blending. I'm going back in with the shade Mago on a Rephr 26 brush. This has a nice point on it, so I can really define the crease, really deepen it and darken it up. Once again, I'm just going back in with our two shimmer shades just to perfect the look. Now I'm going to use my finger to apply the shade Sunbeam right in the center of the eyelid where the two shimmer shades meet. Now I'm taking the shade Luna on a Rephr 26 and I am running that along the lower lash line. Now I'm taking the shade Cocoon on a Rephr number 3 brush and I'm keeping that really close to the lower lash line to deepen it up. Using the same Rephr number 3 brush, I'm going in with the shade Sunbeam that I used on the middle portion of the lid to add as my inner corner highlight. And this is the completed look before lashes and liner. The first shade I'm going in with is Fluttery, and I'm taking it on a Rephr 27, and I'm just going to be blending that into the crease slightly upwards and outwards to make kind of like a bit of a wing. Now I'm going in with the shade Anew on a Rephr number 13 brush, and I'm focusing this on the outer corner of the eye, just starting to pack it on, and then I am slightly going to be blending it into the crease and outwards to create a small wing. Now I'm taking the shade Chrysalis on a damp Rephr number 28 brush, and I am just going to be packing that on the lid. Now I'm just going back in with the shade Anew to kind of deepen up the outer corner and wing. I'm going to go in with the shade Morpho with a damp Rephr number 2 brush, and I'm going to run that along the lower lash line, just focusing it on the outer towards middle portion. Now I'm just picking up a Rephr number 23 brush, same shade, just to kind of perfect that outer wing. Using the same Rephr number 23 brush, I'm going to dampen it and use the shade Tranquil to run along the lower lash line, focusing it on the inner corner towards middle of the lower lash line. Now this is the completed look before liner and lashes. Alright guys, so these are the two very colorful looks that I created using the Serenity palette from Menagerie Cosmetics and Annette's Makeup Corner. Let me give you my thoughts. Let me tell you my experience using the palette. So let's start first with the left eye. I went in first with this shade right here because it swatched so beautifully outdoors that I knew I needed to use this shade. So I started with that shade, and you'll notice that I went in really lightly. Well, I packed it on at first in the crease, and then I just lightly blended it upwards. So it almost looks like it is a totally different shade, like a lighter blue right up here, but it's not. It's all using the same shade, and it just depends on the amount of pressure and how you go in and apply the shade. And that can give you like a variance in intensity, and of course help to sheer it out, help to blend it in. In this case, I packed on first and then lightly blended the edges out to get this effect right there. Really love it. Now, I love the combination of orange and blue. So I, of course, went in with this shimmer shade right here. The shimmer shades are really softly pressed. So if you dip in too rough with the brush into the pan, you're going to see like it crumbling and a lot of kick up. So just be very gentle when you're dipping your brush into the pans, specifically with the shimmer shades. I like to spray all of my shimmer shades, and that did help alleviate some of the fallout, but I did experience some fallout using this palette just with the shimmer shades, but it's nothing that's stained on my face. I easily wiped it away and no big deal. So I took this shade and I packed it on the outer towards middle portion of the eyelid, and then I would go back in with the blue and just go back and forth with both shades until I got the blend I was looking for. And then I wanted to bring back some of the blue, so I went in with this shade right here, and I really like this shade. I liked it so much that I used it in both eye looks today, and that's what I used on the inner portion of the eyelid. And then to kind of take away from where the two shades met, I felt I needed to put another shade on top of it just to kind of help blend that edge there. So I went in with this really pretty gold shade, and that was perfect. It almost looked a little bit green once it blended with the orange and the blue, and that was the perfect transition from orange to the light blue shimmer shade. And then on the bottom, so I kind of felt like maybe this was like a sunflower with the orange, and then the sky and the clouds were the blue. And I thought, well, a sunflower needs grass, a ground to grow on, so that's why I decided to go with green. So I made this a garden. This was like my garden eye, and of course I drew inspiration from the cover art of this gorgeous palette. So it's a beautiful garden there. So I knew that using the green shades, you guys know I love green eyeshadow, I knew I wanted to use them, and I thought that would be perfect. Now, I was a little bit worried as to how all the shades were gonna blend with one another, but I really like the end result. Again, the green is the grass, the orange is the sunflower, the blue is the sky and the clouds, and this is my garden party eye over here on the left side. Oh, and I went back in with the gold shade on the inner corner. That one did give me a little bit of fallout, but again, no big deal. The matte shades, there was a little bit of kick up in the pan, but really no big deal. That doesn't bother me, and they are pigmented. Every shade that I used in this palette was super pigmented, no problems whatsoever. Now for the right eye, I knew I wanted to use this really pretty shade down here, so I decided to go in with the pink shade first, and that's what, of course, I started off with in the transition area and in the crease. And again, I used that packing blending motion. And then to deepen up the outer corner, of course, I went in with the matte purple shade and kind of just gave it a little bit of a winged out effect. And again, this is just all going back and forth with the pink, with the purple, and just blending and using really light pressure. And then, of course, I went in with this gorgeous shade right here. I did spray the brush, and I really love the way all of this top lid came out. And then because I didn't want to keep it so monochromatic, I wanted to just, again, do something different, use as many colors as I could. I went in with this really pretty blue shimmer shade right here. And of course I did spray the brush, but you'll notice I didn't take that all the way in. I stopped at about midpoint, but I did slightly wing it out up here. And then of course for the inner portion and the inner corner, I went back in with this really pretty light blue shade, and I just think that tied the look together. I think all of the colors, even though this is all really colorful, I don't think you can go wrong mixing any of the shades together. I think that you're going to be able to get a nice color scheme, a nice color story on your eyes, no matter what shade you pair with each other from this palette. And that's what I like about palettes. That's why I love colorful makeup, because it just forces you to be creative, and it's so inspirational. Like, I look at a palette like this and I'm immediately inspired to just go outside of my comfort zone and just try mixing shades that I normally wouldn't think of pairing together. Now for the mascara, I used my trusted Essence Lash Princess Mascara. This is the green one. This is the False Lash Effect. I have the purple one as well. Love them both. For eyeliner, I used a KVD Beauty. It's one of those pot eyeliners. I don't have it here in front of me, but it will be linked in the description box. And then on this side, of course, I used my Wet n Wild Breakup Proof Liquid Eyeliner. For the lower lash line on this eye, I used my LA Girl Shockwave. I think the shade is Gotcha. It's the green one. Of course, it'll be linked. And then I also used another LA Girl Shockwave on the lower waterline. I think this one is called Fresh. It's like the mint green one. But of course, all of the makeup that I'm wearing right now will be linked and listed in the description box down below. And some of those links might be affiliate links. So if you do end up purchasing, I thank you so much for supporting me and my channel. Now, guys, my overall thoughts on the palette. Let me just quickly talk to you about the shipping, because that is the only complaint I have about this palette and about, I guess, Menagerie Cosmetics. It's not Annette's fault, but we'll put it on Menagerie Cosmetics because that is where I ordered the palette from. I ordered this on May 1st. Yeah, I believe that was the launch day. And I was one of the lucky ones because they only released about 400 or 500 palettes, and I just so happened to be in the drive-thru of one of my favorite Mexican restaurants, and I was picking up a soup. It was a really like damp, dreary day. It was actually raining really hard, and I got the alert on my phone that it was almost 12 o'clock, so I quickly, I got on the site, and I was actually waiting at the window for a while, for like a good 10 or 15 minutes for my order, so I had the time. So I was on the site, and right away I was able to place my order, no issues. But I just received this palette today, and today is May 25th. So this is shipping from the US. I live in the US. I live in South Texas, and it took 25 days to get to me. Now, I did reach out to the Menagerie customer service team. I want to say it was like over the weekend. Was it last week? No, it was last week. And they did, yeah, it was at the beginning of last week. And they did tell me that they had just started shipping orders and that I should be getting a shipping confirmation sometime during that week. I got the shipping confirmation, I think it was Thursday or Friday of last week, and then it arrived on Wednesday. So from the time they shipped it to the time that I got it, that was pretty quick. It was the actual like processing and them, I guess, just packaging the product that took a while. But, I understand it's an indie brand, small company. They're limited in their resources. They're limited in and they're limited in the amount of people that they have working there. So I get it. I just, wish I would have gotten it a little bit sooner. But nevertheless, guys, this is an influencer collaboration. One of my favorite YouTubers, which is Annette. And I'm just really happy that I was able to support her. I'm really happy I was able to try Menagerie Cosmetics for the first time. And aside from the wait time that it took for me to get this palette, the quality, the packaging, just the overall performance of the palette definitely makes up for it. I think this screams Annette. This has her name written all over it. This is just this is a beautiful color story. And like I said, it's very inspirational, and it totally matches the cover art, which is really, really pretty. This is definitely going to be displayed in my beauty room. So guys, the Serenity palette is definitely getting 2 thumbs up from me. Totally loved working with it. Can't wait to use it again tomorrow. So I will post another look. I won't be able to film that look, but I will post it over on my Instagram, and I'll probably update you guys on the look in the community section here on YouTube. And that is it, guys. Now it's your turn. Now it's your turn to sound off and let me know what you thought about this palette. Let me know what you thought about the collaboration. Annette has a 10 look tutorial, 10 look video using this palette. So I will have her channel and that video linked in my description box of this video so that you can definitely go check it out and send her some love. And most definitely, guys, I will be updating you whenever the restock is. I want to thank you guys so much for watching another one of my videos. You all have a great day or night wherever it is you all are at. Stay hydrated, guys. Drink your water, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.